question. So, we have the reigning Super Bowl winning coach, John McGuinness, and we have the other one, James Cameron.
Hello.
Ian, you're on as well, aren't you?
I can neither confirm nor deny that, but yes.
So, somebody will have to do a wee sound check for us. Niall is not listening. Helpful.
Good
Somebody will jump on and give us a wee sound check in a second. But yeah, how are we both? How are we doing?
Good.
Sorry, John. Just to correct you there, James goes first, mate. He's the one side.
And we are live!
One seed, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Looking forward to a nice standard home game this week.
Nice one. So that's how the one seed is. Two seed. Thanks for coming on.
Yep, no worries at all.
But we'll start off. We'll do a couple of questions first, and we'll just fire them out to you. I do have a couple of questions from people in the meet chat that have sent me.
Are you going to keep them anonymous, or are you going to actually read them out who asked them? Just to clarify, John, when I put something anonymous in the group, it is actually anonymous. I will always lay claim to my own work.
I put up earlier, can guys send in questions, and nobody did until I said on the Around the CFM podcast, guys, can we send in anonymous questions? And then everybody started fucking sending them in.
They're cowards, a lot of them. They really are just cowards.
Knowing that they don't have to square up days has definitely got them.
That's the beauty of Media Week, though, because I want people to be able to ask their questions without prejudice.
Because everybody's scared to ask a question and then next year get beat by that person and be like, ask your fucking question now. But where are we? I'm scrolling through. I've got that other group chat, but I'm scrolling through so much stuff about the Liverpool game. That was horrendous. That was absolutely hilarious. Loved it.
You feel it for them a little bit.
Not even remotely, mate. Not even a fucking tiny bit. But yeah, we'll start with who wants to go first? Obviously James, because he got the one seed. If John wanted to go first, he would have got it. But we'll start with you, James. Do you want to answer a question, or do you want to ask a question to John?
This is like spin the bottle, but for AFC title game.
It's like spin the bottle, but James knows John will pull him at the end of the night.
I'll go ahead and answer a question first. Get the ball rolling on my terms, please.
Okay. How do you think you can surprise John? He knows you need to use your receivers, so you haven't really hidden anything. What do you think that you can?
I don't
surprise
think
him with?
I don't think it's a sense that I need to use my receivers. Using my receivers is a pretty big bonus, but I'm pretty sure I can at least give John a decent game if I just throw to Fant and run with the two backs. But
is that your goal, to just give him a bit of a game?
Yeah. No, not to give him a game, but like I've spent far more time preparing myself than I have watching John for this game. John scares me a lot more on defense, believe it or not, than he does on offense. So
very wise.
In terms of surprising John, I'm obviously not going to say how I'm going to surprise John on a podcast that contains John.
Well, that is also true.
That's a good point.
Okay, so question for you, John. Spaghetti.
Yes.
Do you have difficulty adding cheese, or did you feel that the chicken should have been cut up previously, or was that a right amount of chicken?
Okay, cheese, it's Lent, gotta cut down the cheese. We're trying to be healthy for 40 days, like our Lord and Saviour did. Spaghetti-wise, probably should have
the only
added...
thing you were giving up for Lent was the one seed.
Oh, shit. No, also cheese. Cheese on the one seed.
Okay, that's fair. James, question.
Yes.
I have a quote here that I'd like to read out to you. I would like your opinion on it. That's okay.
Very good.
Is it about Alan Robinson? No.
Because the only thing you've pointed out so far is that I've had booty on top for the past 6 years. Do you think that's a slightly misogynistic comment, or do you think that's okay to say?
I would say
this is so much better because John doesn't mute his mic.
I'm not going to read out who the quote's from.
Nice and anonymous. No, but I would say knowing how the subject of that quote would react to that quote, I think you should be fine with it. So no.
You're speaking for all females here, yeah?
Okay, well, John, I'd say you know the subject just as well as James does.
Yeah.
Do you think it's misogynistic at all?
Well,
Careful
know
now.
the subject quite well, and for how long have you been together with your girlfriend, James?
6 years, John.
So about 4 years, knowing the subject, 4 years. I think the subject, might find it misogynistic.
Was that a dig? I don't understand what that
I was
answer
just saying
there.
that I have known the subject for 2/3 of your relationship with your girlfriend, and it's not connected at all.
You've known my girlfriend for 4 years.
I
No,
never
we've known
said
the
that. The
subject.
subject of the sentence.
Okay, so next question. We'll
Fucking pussy, say it. Say it. John, can I go ahead and ask you,
Yeah.
what's my girlfriend's second name if you've been, what I shouldn't be shagging her for the past 4 years?
John
Surely,
never said that.
surely John's on a first name basis.
I am 100%. That is crude, and I just wish you had more confidence in your relationship to say someone so abhorrent.
Abhorrent.
Do you think that,
Definitely the word I was looking for.
do you think, James, that the lack of trust you have in your relationship will feed into the negotiations with DK Metcalf?
Lack of
Do you think
trust?
There's not going to be any negotiations with DK Metcalf.
Do you think
I
John's
simply-
shagging him?
I simply wouldn't have said that in the group chat if I didn't have the most amazing trust in my relationship. I find that from that kind of comment could very easily ruin a lesser man.
I'm so sorry we were robbed of this last year. This is brilliant.
But
Okay, so
I'm not done yet, Don.
I'm living the life of David Dimbleby and Fiona Bruce right now. This is brilliant.
Can somebody link James' girlfriend to stream, please?
Oh, it's going to be on YouTube. I'll make sure she finds it.
It's going to be on Facebook. We're going to put it on the team Facebook. Question for you, John.
Hello.
Everybody heard the shitting it don't.
John's going to PM and be like, mate, if you throw the game, I'll delete the link. Sound.
Okay, so question for John. You have Hopkins, fantastic season. You have Will Fuller, fantastic season. I'm not going to be doing that. Do you have anything? Now, I'm not asking for what you're hiding, but do you have anything up your sleeve for the game, or you just feel that you go out and play your game, you'll win?
I do think I'll just if I play my game and I play it confidently, and I don't get concerned about trying to match James. I think like a lot of teams that I've beaten this season, 4-player teams total. It's just been a case of just out sprinting them at the end. They can never seem to keep up, and I think that's going to happen with James. If I just play my game and I just keep scoring and I keep playing well on defense, I just don't know if James can keep up. And that's not a dig at James at all. That's just me saying.
No, I mean your worst offensive outputs in your last 5 PvP games, the 2 you scored the fewest points in were Denver in the playoffs and Denver in the regular season.
The regular season game against James was very, very
savage. And
I'd say probably I was played worse than in the playoffs.
Correct me if I'm wrong, was it not the game that you guys played 3 times and ended up having to walk the ball into the correct yard line at the correct time? It's not really a good measurement, to be fair.
I'm pretty sure there was some horrific kneeling for 20
minutes. It was awful. Right? The second time it went out, I would just I can't be fucked. I might just concede this game. I think James also had to go to work and then come back. Imagine doing a full shift and I'd be like, right, let's kneel this fucking ball for a half.
Okay, so question for you, James.
Yep.
Second season in the league. Title game last year. One seed this year.
Pretty good.
I've got a pretty good, yeah.
That's up for us to decide if it's good.
No. Oh, come on. First season. How many games did you win this year? 15?
15, yeah. Which is
12 and 4 in your first year?
Yeah.
27 regular season wins in your first 2 years, and title game both years, minimum. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It feels good, and it's nice that I sort of feel like I'm established as a big hitter in the league, only less than 2 years into it, so it feels great.
You're averaging 13.5 wins per year, and you have never made less than the title game. You're a big thing in this league.
That's pretty good, yeah. That's pretty good.
Okay,
Can't argue that. Like,
No.
Back, I have a question. I have an anonymous question for John, and then I have a question that was thrown in to ask both of you.
Ooh.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay, so I have a couple of quick fire ones for you, John.
Mhm.
Do you think a snail is a bug? Yes or no?
ooh,
Yes, 100% a bug.
You do?
it is, yeah.
100% a
Thank
bug.
you. Thank you.
What else would it be?
I don't know. They didn't say.
Silence. Yeah, the silence is. I think. It's a stupid question. You ever asked it?
That's not.
We have no idea who asked it, but anyway, moving on.
Nice to see James sticking up for whoever asked that one. Jesus Christ.
What else would it be? I don't know.
John, another anonymous question. How many weeks do you think it would take you to recover from a loss to James in the title game?
Ooh, probably measured in months.
Well, I'm not gonna get like held up, like hung up on it, but I think James needs to beat me because
I would
he's
disagree
been
with that
close
wholeheartedly.
so many times.
That's
Close
fair.
twice, and he has 15 wins. He has the 1 seed, and he's still an underdog going in this. He has like
Both
more
1 seeds are the
wins this
underdogs, in
year,
my opinion. Yeah.
and has played me quite close. Clearly, is a better,
close.
very close if you want to say that.
Yes.
But
Have you had trouble finishing before, James?
The subject might disagree.
Don't call her a subject. She's a person. She's
No,
she's
sorry,
my
can
person.
I just remind the quote that you weren't too worried about referring to her as a person when you said you got booty on top for
Yeah.
But I do. It's.
Okay, we'll let John answer the last question. Do you think that having an elite QB is essential to your success, or could you do it with anybody?
For me,
Yeah.
I think an elite QB I probably don't need, but I do need like an athletic QB.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Like even
obviously
Aaron Rodgers could move out of the pocket. I can't be. I don't know if I'm a
season
pocket
one, you had
passer.
Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had
Yeah.
to be within the tackle box.
Man, he can sling it, but it's just not.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Okay. So a question for both of you. We'll let John answer first, and then we'll move on and ask James a couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
If your team loses this game, which player on the opposing side do you think will be the guy you'll blame for it? Who do you think will be the guy on the Broncos who beats you if you lose this game?
That's it. Well, easy enough.
Good question.
That is a good question.
I think it'd be someone who's going to slow down my offense. So I think the most predominant player is Fred Warner.
Who?
Fred Warner. I'm not going to call him by his fucking stupid name.
I don't have.
Joe for the ball!
Can I ask a quick question, John? 100% honestly, are you looking past the game at all?
No, I make a lot of jokes about it, but no, I'm serious with this game. And I think James will play me very, very close, and I think it'll probably be my biggest test up to this season.
It's a sweaty.
So far this season.
You do see James Cameron as a threat.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks, John. That's nice
Thanks.
news.
Yeah. So we have a couple more questions for James.
I suppose the inverse of that would be.
What did you learn from the previous 2 games, and how many fullback dives will you try on the goal line?
I was actually thinking about this quite reflectively one night while I lay awake in bed. Is if
Were you on
I
your
were...
own in the time? Or?
No, I have, as I said to the boys in the group chat.
John,
for
were
the
you
past
alone at the
6
time?
Years.
In the presence of the subject.
Presence of the subject. Yeah, so I thought to myself, like, it's strange you should mention Yu-Gi-Oh earlier on in the game. In the comment, because one of my memories from growing up that stay with me mentally was, I can't remember names now, but it's Yu-Gi-Oh's mate, right? His best mate, I think. I can't remember his name. But
You're not going to tell me John's your best mate, are you?
No. But he is watching.
Real sad.
he's watching Yugi, and he's like, "Oh no, I think this fella knows what Yugi's going to do," but Yugi knows that he knows, but he knows that Yugi knows that he knows. And I thought to myself, if I get to the goal line on the 1, it is an almighty battle mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to run a fullback dive?
Yu-Gi-Oh's friend is called Joey.
Joey, yes. It would be quite funny if I was to win the game on a goal line fullback dive and eliminate John for the playoffs, but I can see myself run the fullback dive at the goal line.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You see, you get down to the goal line, and as of how the last game between us ended, do you not feel like any time you're within the 5, you'll be quite worried and almost like triple checking and maybe audible and out and just getting more or less very confused because you're so worried about what you can and can't run?
No.
Or are you confident with your plays within the 5, within the 10?
I'll run whatever. Like, I'm not going to change my playbook because I'm playing you. I'm just.
Well, you did say you had, tricks up your sleeve, so I assume you have some kind of idea of new.
I would assume the tricks are not just going into the spread formation and taking off with Barry Benson for 4 consecutive 2-pointers. That's not going to happen again, right?
No, certainly not.
So you are going to change it up a bit.
Well, John will put on a QB spot because he's a real person. I'm not a computer, so...
And not one of your 15 wins?
Not one of my 15 wins, which is nice, but...
2 of them are against Nick, and Nick's a good player.
Just a bit of a
True.
Yeah.
And one of them is against Stoops.
Okay, so we asked John, so we'll ask James. Who's the Texan that beat you?
Jordan
Who's the
Poyer.
guy that... Jordan Poyer?
He sees him in his dreams, he knows him on a second name basis.
Yeah. That's a very good shout, to be fair. Jordan Poyer is fantastic.
It's sort of in a situation where I expect to be playing from behind against John. Not that I often do play from behind against John, but John's focused on this game. John says himself right now that he takes it seriously. I sort of feel like it was definitely... Just looking past it the first year, I scared him enough into actually caring maybe a little bit in game 2 and he beat me, but playing in a game where I expect to be playing from behind, not being able to feel confident that I can take any kind of deep shot and not just be picked off as Jordan Poyer is a big disadvantage to have, I find, for me. He's just good.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on our last year of Madden 20. We're going into.
Yeah.
Title game in your first 2 years is fantastic.
That's great, yeah.
If you lose to John this year, and you only get to the title game next year,
yeah,
is there a little bit of a sort of bugaboo there where you're starting to think that that's the peak?
Most people would kill to be the title game every year.
No, yeah. Again, I'm not saying in any way, by the way, that I'm not one of these people that because it's CFM and not the NFL that only making the title game is not a success. Of course it is. Consistently being in the last 4 teams in the league. I mean, everybody slags off Jim Kelly's Bills, but 4 Super Bowls in a row is fucking impressive. And to come in and in your first 3 years to make the title game every time would be great, but would there be a little bit of you thinking that as long as John's in that conference, that's as far as you're going?
Yeah, there is, but in the same sense, like it takes a lot of weight off. I think because John obviously is a superb Madden player. Like he'll tell you himself, like that boy's put hours in on that console in that game. So like, yeah, it would feel a bit shit knowing like there is a massive like glass ceiling there that I need to smash, and it's hard to smash. But I don't think that I am like half the player that I would be if I didn't have John in my conference, because he is just like the big target to hit. But yeah, like it's gonna feel class when I do beat John for the first time, and I think it is a matter of when, not if, because I think we both plan to stay in the AFC beyond 20. But yeah, I would find it hard to say there isn't a kind of bugaboo that would be there, like a monkey to get off your back in beating John.
Do you think that you two have a rivalry? This is sort of for both of you. You two kind of have a rivalry that's different to every other one in the league. Like you have quite a few rivalries in this league. There's a bit of one brewing with Adam and Niall. after the lag game. John and Niall obviously hate each other.
Blind.
Blind. John and Adam is sort of the rivalry that hasn't been yet.
Right?
Yeah.
James, you were quoted on the 5th of February saying, "Do you reckon a single day goes by in this chat that you don't mention my name unprovoked?"
To be fair, I think it was a pretty good point to make because they really.
That was in response, by the way, to John saying, "Can we get a vote to kick him from the league?"
Alright, a proper rivalry.
I would say. Sorry, I didn't even. Is this question for me or for John?
It's really for you go first, but it's really for both of you. The answer just about how you feel that your rivalry is different to everyone around the league.
I feel like it's not to sound like I'm like, oh, John's so good at Madden. Like it's almost like sibling rivalry. Like, like it does feel quite lighthearted.
Sibling rivalries are lighthearted.
Well, like at the end of the day, like it's lighthearted. You still get on with each other, but
Alright, okay.
Try run the flag team with him, James.
I have an awful lot of fun playing John, and I wouldn't say John has a lot of fun playing me because I almost gave him a fucking heart attack last time I played him, but twice actually. Yeah, I think it's one of the more watchable rivalries because we both can give it as much as we can take it in terms of like
On and off the field, I think, you know.
on and off the field. Yeah.
I mean, you've both shown up to Media Week, which is a first, so...
Yeah, and I think...
No, my focus was that whenever they play each other, one's not going to blather the other one 50-17.
True, it's a competitive rivalry.
Yeah.
It's a competitive rivalry, but it's also like a multi-dimensional rivalry, because, like, we have to go each other at the group chat and shit, but, like, also give each other games, so, like, there's sort of two...
Yeah, 1 minute...
two fronts of the same war.
John's trying to kick you from the league or going to your place of work to intimidate you. The next minute you're discussing how was your induction today. You know,
He's a good lad. He's a good lad.
1 minute you're opposing coaches, the next minute you're an old married couple that are trying to avoid counselling,
and that only works because they do it in both ways. It's okay to talk a load of shit to each other, but if you rack up and the game finishes 10-7 or 60-3, nobody wants to watch that. It has to be good on the field, but also off it.
I think it's fair to say John talked a lot of shit about James.
You think it's fair to say?
Until James played him close.
Aye, John's said a word since week 2.
John's definitely, when John's asked by if James Cameron said to John, "Am I good?" John would tell him to fuck off. But when somebody else asks John now, "Is James Cameron good?" he'll say, "Yeah." I give him a little bit of respect. I
have like 3 different podcasts or clips that John's been on the whole regular season where he has denounced James Cameron as a good coach. Anyway, I don't know where you're getting this from.
It's kind of a rite of passage in this. Like, if John hasn't called you a nonce, are you really in the CFM? Like, apart from something who he's fucking terrified of. But it's just part of being in the league. But John, what's your views on the you and James rivalry?
Yeah, I think James probably said it best there. Like, I'm also, a big WWE fan, so always like making stuff a wee bit more interesting. I think the slabbering...
You definitely work us all into a shoot. It's
yeah, because like I tried it with Niall, and no offense to Niall, but like the blind bowl, I just ran past him. I was getting it going with Adam, but then people were pussies and left the league, and that was the strike
like
here. And now I'm playing.
How did Adam win the bowl in Super Bowl 6? It says he beat the Packers in the NFC. Hang on, he beat the Packers in the NFC title game, but he's never beaten you in a title game.
I know.
That's really strange.
And then now I am in the AFC and
the proper conference
for a second, and I really didn't think I thought I was just going to walk the AFC last year, and for the most part I did, but until I got to James.
You won the Super Bowl last year, you pretty much walked the AFC.
That was not walking it. That AFC title game was not walking it.
James and Nick both came in as brand new players, and the expectation was that John was just going to walk them both 40-0.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Okay.
I think James Cameron surprised a lot of people in the title game last year, in a good way.
But it's
really
no longer
bad
surprising.
mistake.
He got right back to it. He's made 2 title games in a row. Do you know how rare it is? Unless you're the Saints, who have never missed a title game, it's really hard to get to back-to-back title games.
Here's a question for James Cameron very quickly. If John beats you tomorrow night, is he winning the bowl?
Yeah. Yeah.
Easy question, easy answer. 100%.
Same question to you, John. Is James Cameron winning the bowl if he beats you?
Great question.
Can he beat Adam or Zach?
No, I have too much respect for Adam, and I don't think the answer to me winning the bowl is a definite yes either. I think Adam can give anybody I think Adam also really needs to win
just
this bowl.
Massive disrespect to Zach.
Yeah, just to be clear, you both,
No, Zach's great.
You know Zach hasn't been eliminated yet, yeah?
you both think Adam's going to the bowl?
I don't know if Adam's going to the bowl, but if Adam doesn't go to the bowl, then yeah, James or me are going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, the AFC has won 6 of the last 7 bowls.
I'm sorry, I'll still that fucking... is Adam listening live, or is Zach listening live?
Neither of them are listening live, but they will catch up tomorrow.
Not. I'm pretty sure Adam's not.
If I the NFC with Denver, it wouldn't be a question. It would be a John and me bowl, quite easily. Definitely.
If you were in the NFC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know 100%
they've got to
about
crush
Adam.
at each other now.
Adam, I think Adam, you and Adam kind of play similarly, and I think would give us both a lot of trouble.
I love when everybody just completely bypasses Adam. Like, if I was in the NFC, I'd win it. Adam's about to play
I need to have Adam as
we're in
Adam
season.
Is really good.
This is the 8th season of CFM. Adam this week is about to play his first playoff game outside of the Superdome.
Yeah, I'm 2-1. Like the first time I played Adam, I got shocked, but then I think I did a James and shocked him when I beat him with the Seahawks. So
yes,
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was the lag bowl might have subverted everybody's opinion on Adam. Well, because he had to play from the 50 every drive.
The title game is really John's domain. I know Adam's made 7. Like the Saints have made 8. Adam was in charge for 7 of them. He's made 7 title games. John's won a title game in both conferences with two different teams. And he might be about to win his 3rd. The title game is slowly becoming John's domain, like GOAT levels of like greatest of all time to do it in a title game.
Quick question. Here's a little question to rile John up a bit.
Okay, brilliant. Because this is getting too gay, like.
Yeah, it is a wee bit. It's a wee bit soft right now.
This guy's giving me kiss noises.
I feel like we're getting to the point where the subject matter might be third wheeling.
Yeah.
The subject.
If so, for example, if James Cameron switched and went to the NFC next year, does he win it? In fact, we'll do it this way. Does he beat James Earl?
Yes.
He's the 3rd best team in the conference at the very least.
Until James moves out of Larne or Ballyhampton, yeah.
So he beats James Earl. Does he beat Zach?
Yeah.
Does he beat Stoops?
In the playoffs,
Stoops
yes.
probably beats himself, to be fair.
Yeah.
Does he beat Niall?
Yes.
that wasn't just a yes, John. That was a fuck me.
That was
yes.
emphatic.
And does he beat Adam, or is that's probably the second?
James Cameron and Niall have never actually met, have they?
Yes, we have. I beat Niall.
No, stop this! James Earl says this too. Fuck pre-season. You could be playing with one hand and looking at Netflix.
Ian, I met Niall in pre-season. I met Niall. I beat Niall. Handily, easily, no sweat.
Obviously, you've beat him, but it's pre-season. That doesn't count.
You know, Niall's taking that seriously, but don't cap.
Yeah, that's great.
Justin Herbert got Bears reps in pre-season. That's how little of a fuck Niall gives about it. The third overall
pre-season games and regular season games against the Lions.
What do you think? Do you think James beats Adam?
No.
No.
Maybe.
No, but not ever. Like, just not right now.
Clear, I think if they play each other 10 times, I think Adam wins 6, James wins 4.
Yeah.
Maybe 7-3.
Yeah.
I think it might even out to 5-5, but yeah. Probably in a 6-4.
There's nothing embarrassing about that. Adam's a really good player. Okay, James, same question to you. If John's in the NFC and you're in the AFC, do you meet each other in the bowl?
Yeah, obviously.
That's a pretty obvious one. Like,
So you think John beats Niall? Is that what you're saying?
The NFC, the NFC two playoff teams are like the fuck the whole way through this. Zach's terrible, and Adam's worse, and basically James Cameron would win the NFC.
If the NFC win this bowl this year,
oh god,
this is just be clipped. Like,
this is getting soundbite.
We have to leave the league.
Like if James somehow squeaks past me tomorrow, I'm literally just gonna train him up.
I love how John can't imagine a way that he wins and loses the bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
If the AFC lose this bowl,
it'll be because of James Cameron. It'll be because James sneaks me on a fluke and it's terrible.
Oh.
He just cannot envision that he beats you and goes on to lose the bowl, which is a different type of gusto. I like it.
So
this is mad disrespect to Adam and Zach. I just realised.
Yeah, massively.
It's massive disrespect.
I was kind of hoping that the two press conferences were going to be like James and John shooting on each other, then Adam and Zach shooting on each other. Instead, it's going to be James and John team up to take shots at the NFC, and the NFC get to bounce back in a couple of days' time.
Yes.
I tell you what, the Pro Bowl is going to be fucking spicy anyway. But that is going to be an exciting game.
James Cameron versus Adam.
Again, I'll beat him again. It's fine. I'll beat him again.
Nice self-burn in the group the other day, by the way, saying, "Yeah, well, I'll see you in the Pro Bowl, the Adam." That was literally the worst flex ever. It's the worst flex since that picture of you flexing, to be honest. But
I had a great barbecue
that's
that
a bad
day.
flex.
So good.
It is a bad flex. But
Straight bad flex.
Here's a question, James.
Hi.
If you win the Super Bowl this year, do you stay in debt? Obviously, I don't think anybody's changing teams going into next year.
No.
There's no real point. It's the last year on this Madden. I think changing teams is a bit redundant, to be honest. Mm-hmm. If you win the Super Bowl with the Broncos this year or next year, do you go somewhere else in 21? If you want advice on like real estate agents and stuff, by the way, ask John. He moves pretty much every day.
Yeah, I'll drop it now. I won't be in Denver in 21 regardless of what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have we decided where we're going? Or
that's big.
I think there was some discourse over this in the group chat in the sense of we're going to have it randomized by divisions, but if that was not the case, I would expect to be going to Buffalo.
Okay.
And that's in 2021, not next year.
That's a great team to go to in 21. To be fair,
isn't it?
You're wanting to spend
Diggs.
So
Diggs is gonna have to retire.
Like Diggs getting no catches.
No one's throwing him the ball.
Yes,
you're getting
superstar.
16 more regular season games in Denver, and then that's you off to Buffalo.
Yep, that's the plan.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That's good. So what about you, John? What's the plans going into 21?
Going into 21, so going past next season?
Yeah, so next season I assume you're in Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've said this to pretty much everybody on like either around the CFM or my podcast. It doesn't seem like anybody wants to leave next year because you don't really get to build anything.
It doesn't make sense if we're going to clear cap and stuff like that.
Nobody wants to leave for... Yeah, everybody's getting a free ride on cap. Nobody wants to leave for 16 games. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree. So, I don't know. I'm really probably just going to leave it up to anybody who wants to see me in any certain team. Like, if anybody wants me to do a rebuild or anything, I'm happy to go anywhere.
Are you wanting to stay, especially now that you know that James is likely... So, we've heard that James Cameron's going to Buffalo. Adam has strongly hinted that he's coming to the AFC.
Yes.
Would you go to the NFC and wipe everybody's eye over there, or would you stay in the AFC and try and battle it out with James and Adam every year?
That's tough. Like, that's whatever people want is, like, whether they want 3 powerhouses in one division, or they want maybe, if Zach stay in the NFC, me to jump over with Zach, and it's Adam and James in the AFC, and it's
I would
me
quite
and
like
Zach,
to see like a super AFC with the 3 of you. I think that'd be interesting.
We can make that happen.
I think that would be nice, because, again, the NFC would still be fairly decent. You'd have Zach, James Earls, and Stoops. It's not a bad conference. But again, I'm not sure if Niall's going to the Bears. Like, Stoops has pretty much said he wants to stay in Arizona.
Yes.
And neither Zach or James Earls have given any indication they want to leave Dallas and New York. Niall, I'm not saying Niall wouldn't be a contender in that NFC course, but I'm saying I don't know if he'll be in the NFC.
Yeah.
I think it would probably be best, to be honest, to keep Niall in the NFC. if you three were all in the AFC. I think the four of you all in the... If we kept you all in the AFC, there'd be nobody who'd made a Super Bowl in the NFC. It would become a bit cupcake for Zach at that point, where he'd be sort of walking his way to a bowl. And John, you know yourself, when you get to a bowl and you haven't really had many player games in the schedule, it's tough.
It's tough, yeah.
Plus nobody, like, I did my first season in Cincinnati, I had you on my schedule. Second one, I had no player teams. It's boring as fuck. Nobody wants that.
Yeah,
nobody wants to see you three are going to have a really interesting AFC race while you're playing 15 games and maybe James Earls wants. It's not the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to see Niall Stoops, James Earls and Zach in the NFC, and you three and Nick in the AFC. I think it'd be a really, really interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
Especially because one of the best four players in the league wouldn't be making a title game.
Great.
That would be...
Who's a shit team in the AFC? Bengals? Oh, I could go with Burrow, like...
You could indeed.
I would like to... If I could pick your AFC team for you, it'd probably be Cleveland.
Okay.
I'd
like
to see you...
How you see, like, me with OBJ and Landry and Chubb, like...
Are you wanting more of a challenge, or are you wanting more of a...
Yeah, I want a challenge. I want a shit team and build them up.
I
want to be if I go to a bowl with a shit team, it's because, like, it's really, really... Like, even if I don't go in the first year, it's not a missed year, because I wouldn't mind to, build that up.
The Texans wouldn't be a bad shout, to be fair, because they're probably not going to have Watson.
Yeah.
But again, it would probably feel a bit weird for yourself, playing as the Texans again.
Are we going in with the teams that are going into 2022?
I believe
2021-22.
From what I've said to Adam, I think we're going to get an updated roster, so we're going to get a roster of, like, today.
So if I wouldn't have like what I
Matt
wouldn't
Stafford
have
would be in LA, for example.
Yeah, put it like that.
Okay, Texas would be interesting, I guess.
I would like to see Niall go back to try and completely reboot the Texas franchise at that stage.
If Niall was to go back to Houston, though, you would have to have Adam, John, or James Cameron in the NFC. Realistically,
I go to ATL.
If you went to Atlanta and Niall came back to Houston, it would be really interesting. I want to see more of Niall and James Cameron. Like, James, I don't know if you're just being a dick or you genuinely hate him. I don't know what it is, but it's really interesting.
There's no way of us knowing right now.
Niall?
No.
Cap.
That could not have been said in a less convincing way, James.
Oh my god.
Do you hate Niall?
No. I think Niall's a lovely fella, but again, we're talking about the group chat, and you're playing a character, and you have to bring something. Niall got really into the preseason game. He'll say, "I don't care for preseason," but
oh god, I remember that preseason game as well, because was it not the silly kick or something that he ended up losing off, and we were all like, "How did he lose that?"
Niall's talking about how good it was. He says it's just a preseason win, but it's good to get it on the board as the kick sailed wide right.
Yes.
Which was pretty funny. And he called me such a weird boy when I called him baby boy for throwing a pick directly at my user. I just don't think Niall gets me. And that's okay because we're different people.
You're not surprised by that, surely. Like, there's been times in your life where people don't get you, like...
Every week, surely.
There's no way Niall's the first person to be like, you're a bit weird.
No. Everyone gets me. I'm a people pleaser.
That's just... as somebody who spent serious time with you, James, that's just...
Hang on, did you say you're a people pleaser?
Yeah.
So you're willing to concede then that Daniel is not a person?
Yeah, he's not a person.
Okay. You've never pleased me in any way, James.
You did the subject during this call? I thought I heard it.
I was going to say, story of his sex tape.
Fantastic. I'll do two quick questions for each of you, and then we'll maybe wrap it up, unless you want to spit some shit at each other a bit more. But okay, quick question to... Who am I going to go with first? John, who's your easiest ever PvP win?
That's
Not
tough.
including the time you put 70 on Stoops in pre-season. That was fucking brutal.
That was mad, yeah.
That was
70
like
on
Stoops'
Stoops.
first ever Madden game, as I just downloaded it, and you
Yeah,
just
it wasn't
robbed them
fair.
with Green Bay.
It was maybe...
Imagine
You know the
giving
worst
your
part?
dad Madden
It might
and
be
letting him play
Zach.
John. Really?
Zach, really?
It might be Zach.
I mean, like, he couldn't
Easiest
stop you
ever.
defensively, to be fair.
It was just too far gone after 2 bad drives and a missed kick. It was already said after I'm trying to think of anybody else. Maybe Niall, one of the 50. Like, it's like Zach's my first 50 bomb PvP. So
Yeah.
it has to
Yeah.
be, doesn't it? The Niall game was easy with where I got like 43 or something, or 49 or something.
He went out of his way to make
sure.
sure. He went out of his way to make sure you didn't score 50 on him, and it was like
Yeah.
47-13.
Yeah, so it's probably the worst part is probably Zach.
Sorry, Zach.
Does anybody disagree?
Do you know, in terms of like a defensive
It's
performance
probably
against you,
between
that's
those two, but
probably
yeah,
the weakest.
You're the
Yeah.
one playing the game. You know, the score's not always how it is. You know which one was easier, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
You know,
I think
which
it
one
was.
felt easier to put away, and which one you felt you were in any danger in.
Yeah, it's probably Zach.
Probably the Zach one. Fair enough.
I
That's
guess
just
that's
no
fair.
disrespect to Zach. It's just he just didn't show up that day. That's all.
Yeah.
James
in
Cameron,
the NFC. So.
Hello.
excluding the division you're in now. So you've been in a division with Nick for 2 years, won it both years.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be the easiest player team to be in a division with and win it?
Right now, probably James Earls because of his Wi-Fi situation. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, as much as I do love Stoops, probably Stoops because he will self-implode. Like he is a superb player versus player, but unfortunately, he's also Stoops. And
He's the only guy in the league that I think could start 8-0 in Madden 21 and then sneak in 9-7 into the third wildcard spot.
If you're playing the John's little sort of like area of work at PricewaterhouseCoopers accounting, Stoops' PvP standard deviation in terms of points is completely insane. Like he could easily put like 14 points on you in a quarter every quarter and beat you by 30, but in the exact same conditions lose by 35. And like, not that I don't think there will be any easy divisions, but I feel like having someone who's prone to maybe the odd lapse, to put it bluntly, like Stoops would be like an advantage. But again, that's not saying Stoops is bad. I just don't think there's any really easy player divisions. But
He's just inconsistent, and if you're going to play somebody twice a year, you'd rather it be
If a guy's going to drop 4+ CPU games, it's not going to be it's got to be a bit of an easier division.
yeah, yeah. If you're going to make me pick, yeah.
John, second question. What's your best side of the ball? O or D?
Oh, definitely. O. It is O. Like,
Okay, so you're the offense. Which player in the league would you pick to play? So they take the controller off you. They play all your defensive snaps. Who would it be?
Ooh.
With the goal of winning the Super Bowl.
And Adam.
Yeah.
That's probably
Yeah.
right, and probably the only right answer. I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably the most consistent player.
I don't know. I like. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I think he's probably the most consistent player. You know, like is like probably his bogey team that he just couldn't get past. But for the most part, he's quite a consistent player.
I wasn't 2 Super Bowls better than him. Like that's no.
Yeah.
You need to
He's
watch
a
the
very
games.
good player. Plus, yeah, the whole thing of like he's sort of the
I
opposite.
had a third and 18, and there was a fumble, and my tight end picked it up and ran it the 18 yards. Like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. But
You didn't look at fumbles, no worries. Like,
that's definitely the only bowl I ever got lucky on a fumble.
John, I know the answers earlier. Who was the player who did that?
Who did what? Who fumbled?
No, who recovered it for the touchdown?
Oh, sure, you know his name. It's written on the Pete Rozelle trophy.
Is it Witherspoon?
Ian, is it Axella Witherspoon?
It certainly is.
And Ian, who acquired him during the season?
That would be the Oakland Raiders American Football Club of Oakland, California.
And who made the trade?
That would be the Chief Financial Officer, Daniel Shaw.
Thank you very much. Okay, so James, same question to you, mate. O or D, which one are you running?
I think I'm probably best. I think it's
You
hard.
could literally cut it in the NFL as a run game coordinator. I truly believe that.
Probably O, because I do have a, if I do say so.
We'll take Adam off the board because John picked him. Who would you take to run your defense?
Can he take John?
Yeah.
It would be John, but for the sake of the pod, on the media day, I've sort of poked the bear with Niall previously on the podcast, but I will say probably Niall, because I'll say it, like, Niall sort of like is very like football wise, and I know there's like a chat about separating Madden and football, but like watching Niall chat through like what he's doing, like it's logical. It's not like me who like will just pick like cover 3 class. But like he knows what he's doing. So I think if someone's to pick, probably Niall. Probably wouldn't want him with the like actual controls in his hand, but for pick and plays, superb.
The person who puts Mac into coverage far more than he should.
But he knows what he's doing, and I can't pick John. I can't pick Adam. Maybe Zach actually.
Which team's winning that game?
Which game? The
James on.
Hang on, John and Adam versus James Cameron and Niall. John and Adam 11 times out of 10.
Actually, no. Pardon me. I think I picked Zach. I don't know why I forgot Zach existed there. Sorry, Niall, it's Zach.
Because you've been slagging him off for the last hour. Maybe?
Sorry, I hit my head a minute ago. I'm just recapping here. So John's easiest win was against Zach's defense, and Zach is the coach that James Cameron chooses to manage his defense against a John team.
You took all the good ones from me.
You literally picked Niall a second ago. That's a decent pick.
Okay. I have a question.
Why would you pick Niall and then go, no, actually, I'll go for Zach, who's not as good at D as Niall?
I believe Zach in this podcast.
Let's let John ask this question.
Because it was in the kind of same regard about your own your defense. So, would you rather be up by 7, up by 3 at the end of a game defending, or going down the field on a tie game for a go-ahead field goal? What do you feel more comfortable, moving the ball or defending, like against me from moving the ball?
Bear in mind, we all seen the title game last year, and you can't lie.
Me?
Yes.
Would you rather have the ball in your hands to win it, or try to stop the person with the ball and win it?
I would rather. So I'm up 3 end of the game and need a field goal to tie, or I need to drive down and get a field goal, but I can't get a touchdown, can I? Or I have to celebrate.
You can do whatever the fuck you want. What do you mean? Like, I'm not putting weird rules on it, like the end zones are limits.
Are you the only one that didn't get that at the first time? We all got it.
Down the field to win the ball.
I would rather have the ball in my hand. I would rather have the balls in my hand.
So you can score a touchdown on John. It's not last year's Super Bowl.
That's below their belt.
You can get in the 20.
I would rather have the ball, because at least then I can be accountable for my own mistakes.
Well, you've had it both ways, and you fucked it up.
I knew he was going for that.
Okay, so last question.
Oh, John made that one bangs. You got a good reaction out of that one. Really good joke.
James.
It wasn't a joke, it's legitimately true. You had the ball, you gave up a 2-pointer. I had the ball, you couldn't defend. I got the 2-pointer, go ahead. And then in the second game, you had the ball at the 2-yard line and went for a fullback dive on 4th and lost.
Pretty lit though, wasn't it?
Sure, yeah.
James, question. Can you think of a worse way to lose than throwing that slant last year?
Throwing that slant at the goal line would be pretty bad.
Why? What?
Why? It'd be a 99-yard pitch I'd have to go up against.
What?
If you threw it at the goal line, I'd have to drive 99 yards.
But if it was it depends on the context.
Even if you catch it in the end zone against the Rebels, it's still placed at the 1-yard line.
Oh, so yeah, in that context, yeah, probably fewer worse ways to lose a football game than that.
Tell me about it.
Pretty gross, yeah.
Okay. John.
Hello. I'm getting toxic all of a sudden, so it's just creeping in.
Do you think
good.
that missing a PAT and then allowing a 19-yard AJ Green touchdown is a worse way to lose than James did?
No, because that was regular season.
Fair. Do you think that ending that game is not as tough as ending your whole season on a mistake?
Yeah, and I think I pulled the deep third out of coverage. It was a bad mistake on my part. But James looked at the play when he could have run down the clock and said, yes, I'm going to throw it right at John's user.
Yeah, that's a great point. I don't want to point the finger at James Cameron here,
like,
but
he thought he was better than me. He in his head was like, I'm confident I can complete this slant against probably the best linebacker user in the league.
Because I've been 3rd and 2 with the game on the line, and I'm up. I don't need to do anything against John.
You got a face mask?
I did get a face mask, but I don't know what would come. I don't know what would come up in the 3-play suggestion that makes me go, "Fuck it, yeah, I'll throw it there." There's nothing against John that I would see that's a pass and be like, "This is definitely on." Like, it's not Stoops fucking going for it 4th and 3, throwing it behind the line, but it's in that same bracket of maddening decisions. Like, I don't get what play would pop up for you to go, "This'll catch John out on 3rd and 2, and I already have the lead."
Well, like, so, I sort of assumed there would be a man blitz, and as long as I always say the primo play.
You assumed something against John?
Yeah. Well, you have to remember I was a rookie, and like I hadn't played John before.
Just don't forget that excuse is not in play tomorrow.
Yeah, so I'm probably not gonna have to quiz these slant.
Good.
How many targets is Noah Fant getting tomorrow?
All of them.
All of them.
Okay, makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Infinity plus 1.
Like, cause John runs obviously the 3-4. Is it odd cover 3 man up the slot receiver?
I can walk you through it because you've clearly said you didn't watch my film, but you've been watching it enough. So it's cover is 3.
Edge rusher into hard flats sometimes, depends on the look obviously, but no, it's been really handy having 2 PS 4 remotes over the past few weeks and some fellas who know how to play Madden. So, and look, I'm prepared for Sunday.
Okay, so you know what I'm coming out with most times, and you think you'll be able to beat me? Because if you can't, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, probably will be tough, but yeah, I'm pretty confident that I can win. Because if I'm not confident, there's no real point in me showing up. Back yourself.
You gotta back yourself, and I'm glad to hear you do back yourself. Like, what do you give your percentage chance of winning?
50.
Spot on.
You okay?
Well, he either does or he doesn't.
Okay.
What percentage do you give yourself, Joe?
90.
90.
I have a 90% chance to win tomorrow.
Okay, final question. Okay. Quick fire. James, hitting you with it first.
Oh, quick fire.
Is 17 of age, yes or no?
No, it's illegal and disgusting.
Okay.
It is illegal and disgusting. That is true.
Okay, John. Quick fire question for you, John. Okay, just yes or no answer. Okay.
Yep.
Will a player ever play as bad in a bowl as Niall did last year?
No.
Okay. Well, that's my final question for you.
Okay.
Firstly, thank you both for coming on. It's been an absolute blast.
What's your predictions tomorrow? Can I ask?
My predictions? I'm going to go John by 4.
John by 4.
John by 4.
John by less. But it's not 90%. There is definitely more than a conceivable shot James Cameron wins this.
I could see people thinking it, yeah.
But I've already made not the AFC title winning, I've already started producing my own line of Super Bowl winning t-shirts in Texans colours for John. So, I mean, they're not going to be for the real Texans. So, John, you kind of, unless I'm going to send these all to Rwanda, you need to win your next 2.
I only found that out. I only found out they gave it away to Africa. That's hilarious.
Well, it's a really good idea.
Yeah, they give it away to Africa. So
Do you know how many people in the third world are Bills fans?
Or running about with Matt Ryan's Super Bowl jerseys.
Yeah. They just have like.
It's a good idea because you've got to produce them.
No, it's
So
great. It's a great idea. It's very good. Like.
and you were like yesterday years old when you found that out. Well, I'm glad
I
that you
literally
find that
like
wholesome.
a week ago.
Oh,
I thought it was hilarious because like they must all think like Brady's gag because it's always like the
I can't believe Jared Goff beat him in his second year.
Oh, they're like, oh, it's good to see that they've got 3 balls, but you know they got smacked another 6 times.
Do you think that there's like a South Sudanese sports hall of fame with Jim Kelly in it?
Do you know there's an entire village in Nairobi running about with Liverpool Premier League champions 2020 jerseys?
What's Sean's prediction for the game in statistics?
What's my prediction?
Yeah.
I have it as Texans.
Oh my god, he's gonna call his own score. Oh god, this never ends well.
No, I'm just gonna call. I'm probably gonna say Texans minus 2.5.
Oh, you're probably just gonna do what I picked, right? Okay.
Is that what you picked?
That's spot on what I picked. Yeah.
Oh really? I don't think I win by a field goal. I think I win by
less.
Yeah, I think I win by like a missed kick or something.
Yeah, it's gonna be close. An interception that doesn't go all the way back. Yeah.
What's your prediction?
Texans by 3.
That's fair.
That's your prediction.
Yeah.
But again,
Texans by 3.
Texans by 3 means that Denver could win by 2, and that's not a terrible prediction. That's fine.
Yeah.
He's not saying Texans by 11.
To be
Final
fair,
thing, will you both be mic'd up for the game?
Oh, good question.
I will be willing to be, yeah. Unless John has to...
Will you mic up for the game?
To be fair,
I'm
John...
probably not going to mic up for the game now.
There's no obligation to.
John...
It's not a pussy thing, it's just a nice, you know, it's just... I don't know why people think, you know, they have to mic up for every game and be friendly.
As someone who's completely autistic and never mic'd up for his balls, yeah, I totally get it.
The guy just said, he goes, baby boy, when Niall threw a pick. I don't really want
it sounds a bit
saying,
it sounds a bit like you can't hack it, is what you're trying to say here.
It's like I just can't hack talking to you for more than an hour every week.
Quick question, John.
Hello.
Is there any chance if you're in Niall's division next year that the word blind gets brought back into vocabulary?
I was thinking this the other day. Like blind was that blind year was top tier. That blind thing was hilarious.
I don't think we would all agree on that.
I missed.
You didn't find it hilarious to win.
Blind,
hey, I didn't say I would. I didn't say I wouldn't agree. Daniel literally ran around the house for like 2 weeks at one time, being like, "Oh my god, they're at it again! Blind." Daniel does a really good John, like a toxic John impersonation. It's really good.
Please bring it back.
Like, I'll just be sitting in my room and Daniel will burst in and be like, you know the scene in The Matrix? Morpheus is fighting Neo. Oh my god, he's calling him blind again. Or when John would beat CPU teams and nickname his streams, like, you're so gack. Like,
or name his coach after Adam's sister. That was a personal favourite.
That's a Hall of Fame level one. With Grace Gormley's Packers.
Treat the word blind like a pick off James Cameron and bring it back.
Yeah.
We need it back into the league. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Game tomorrow. Very excited. Thank you both for coming on. It's been great.
Sorry, what's the estimated kickoff time for everybody?
Oh, good question. John, when do we fancy this? Like 8 or 9?
I believe, yeah, because I think I'm watching soccer ball for the first time in...
What match are you watching?
Arsenal.
Arsenal Man City tomorrow.
James Cameron doesn't even want to watch that.
It's not going to make a game for you, James. Kid, but...
Probably just going to be 0-0, I've been told.
Jesus, did James tell you that?
An Arsenal fan told me that.
0-0 against Man City? Who said that?
It was not me. Jesus Christ, it wasn't me.
It's definitely not James or Arteta. But yeah, thank you both for coming on. So about 8 or 9 tomorrow. Well, we'll say 9ish. Give people a chance to get on and stuff. And
9ish, yeah.
There will probably be a party up for it.
You're sitting in the party, James?
There'll definitely be a party.
You're sitting in the party?
No.
No,
for
the game. To fucking talk to you anymore. In the fucking game we're playing tomorrow.
This is why I don't talk to you anymore.
Will you be partied up with us for the game, James?
Yeah, I'd like you to put your full. I'd like to put your full concentration into the game tomorrow.
I don't think you'll need to.
You will need to.
Yeah, but
I also want to chat to my friends.
Are they coming on? Are they coming on too?
Yeah, be a bender about it then. Like,
Hopefully.
I want to chat to my friends. Fuck me, boring cunt. Right.
Boring cunt. Thank you both so much for coming on. This is exactly what I wanted from Media Week in previous years.
John, pop onto the CFM group on Facebook. There's an image I've made that you will get a kick out of.
Thank you both so much for coming on. This has been awesome, crack. You're both great, and good luck tomorrow. We will have one of you will be on for the Pro Bowl, one of you will be on for Super Bowl Media Week.
Can I ask one last question, please, to John?
Yes. Yeah, ask as many as you want, because it's fine.
This is your last chance before you're relegated to the Pro Bowl.
Can I just ask why we're playing Denver? Like, chat to me about what happened.
You won you got the first seed.
Why?
Because I lost to Skins and I drew to the Colts.
Drew with the Colts. Why? He doesn't know.
Why?
John, why?
Because, I just...
He's already beat you at NRG. He wants to try it somewhere else.
It's only the regular season.
Ian, please let John answer some questions.
Because I did not play well enough to beat the Skins. I did not play well enough to beat the Indianapolis Colts.
But
you can beat any CPU team you play against, but you're actually shitting yourself when you play a player team.
There's a question I didn't get to ask, and I'll ask John first. John, what bit of James's play are you jealous of?
How you can get so motivated to play CPU teams every week and think that he's great because he actually beats them.
John, 75% of this league does that. You can't pick on him for that.
In response to John's answer, James, what bit of John's play are you most jealous of?
Pretty much like the discipline to go through your entire formative years with a girlfriend to come back and play Madden when you come from school. That's dedication to a cause. Really, really proud of that.
To be fair, John says he hasn't had a girlfriend. He didn't say he hadn't slept with other people's girlfriends. But we're going to
I have had a girlfriend. I loved her. I have had a girlfriend at one point in my life. But then I left her for Madden.
Tell me about it.
Before we get any deeper into this.
So he left his girlfriend for Madden and still lost to the CPU. Jesus fucking Christ.
We are going to end it there. I hope some of this carries on. Here's a question, John. In fact, for both of you.
I'm killing the stream in a second.
Will you support the loser in the Pro Bowl?
Yes, he will.
Do I actually have to play in the Pro Bowl if I lose?
You do, yeah.
You're not Tom Brady. You can't just take the week off.
I'm too good for this league. I'm too good for everything.
You know I'm too good for this league.
I'm too good for this league.
Okay, so before
he's mimicking me, we might need to kill this thing.
Yeah, let's kill the stream because James is just gonna keep imitating John.
Yeah. Thanks very much for listening, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed the lesson.
Please, stop and go, please.
Alright,